You checked your credit on an app. It said 660. You felt pretty good about it. Then you called a lender. They pulled your credit and the number came back a lot lower. Maybe 30 points lower. Maybe more. You didn't do anything wrong and nobody's lying to you. You're just looking at two different things. Let me show you exactly what's happening. I'm Brad Haynes, a Washington mortgage loan originator. I work with first-time buyers and people rebuilding their credit, so I have this conversation almost every week. Usually with someone who's disappointed and who doesn't need to be as disappointed as they are. First thing to understand, you don't have a credit score. You have dozens. There are two main companies that build scoring models, FICO and VantageScore. Each of them has released multiple versions over the years, and each version can be calculated at each of the three bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Do the math and you've got a lot of possible scores. All technically correct, all describing the same person, all landing on different numbers. So the question is never, what's my credit score? The question is, which score from which model at which bureau? That's the whole thing. The free apps and most credit card dashboards show you what's called an educational score. It's a real score, calculated from real data in your file. It just usually isn't the model a mortgage lender pulls. That's not a scam. Those tools exist to help you watch your credit move, to see whether paying down a card helped, whether an old collection fell off. For that job, they work fine. The trouble starts when someone treats that number as the number. It's a thermometer, not a qualification. And here's a detail worth knowing. Some of those apps show a VantageScore. I've made a whole video about VantageScore 4.0 being accepted for mortgages now, which is a genuinely big deal. But the version your app displays and the version a mortgage lender uses are not automatically the same thing. Different version, different number. Let me tell you what I'm actually looking at, because it's a different animal than the app on your phone. It's called a tri-merge. All three bureaus pulled at once and combined into one report. So right away, I'm not looking at one score, I'm looking at three. And the scores are honestly the smallest part of it. Here's what else is in there. Every trade line, credit cards you have now, credit cards you closed years ago, auto loans, student loans, personal loans, and any liens. Balances, limits, payment history on each one. Your work history. Employers that have been reported over the years. Name variations, maiden names, middle initials, misspellings that got attached to your file somewhere along the way. Address history, everywhere you've lived that got reported. And then a separate section just for derogatory items, late payments, collections, charge-offs, Chapter 7s, Chapter 13s. Broken out on their own, with dates. That's what a lender sees. It's not a number on a dashboard, it's a file. So when your app says one thing and my report says another, part of it is that we're not even doing the same thing. The app is giving you a temperature reading. I'm reading a history. Fair question. Why would lenders use older models when newer ones exist? Because mortgages get sold. The loan I close gets bought by an investor, and those investors set the requirements, including which scoring models they'll accept. That system is enormous, it's conservative, and it moves slowly. That's exactly why VantageScore 4.0 being accepted was news. It was the first real change to that requirement in about 2 decades. Slow moving is the point. It's just also the reason your app and my report disagree. So what do you do with this? Keep using the free apps for what they're good at, watching direction, catching a new collection, confirming something fell off. Don't make a decision on that number. Don't count yourself out because the app says 590, and don't count yourself in because it says 680. Neither one is the number. Get a real pull. It's one soft conversation and then a real report, and I've got a whole video on hard pulls versus soft pulls if that's the part that worries you. A mortgage inquiry affects your score far less than most people fear, and here's the part I actually care about. I see the gap go both directions. Plenty of people come in braced for bad news, and the real report is better than the app told them. The gap isn't always a disappointment, it's just an unknown, and it stays unknown until somebody pulls it. If you've been putting off finding out where you really stand, that's the thing worth fixing. Not the score, the not knowing. Free conversation, no application required. If the number comes back lower than you hoped, we build a plan from where you actually are. That's credit coaching, and I don't charge for it. Links below.